Good morning, everybody, with this wonderful view of this jungle river here that is really giving me every morning so much energy. It is, for me, it is always a pleasure to start that video, because perhaps even the few moments you can look at this river is giving you the same kind of calmness that I'm getting. Before I start the video, I'm actually standing here and just looking on the river and how it is flowing through the jungle, and it is so magnificent. There's such a calmness, but in a way also a powerful force just moving through the jungle. It is so outstanding. And when you are imagining what difficulties this river has on its way flowing through the jungle, and it just pushed through, it found orientation, navigation and everything, and developed this force to pass through the thickest jungle. It is so incredible. And when you imagine this, this river started somewhere in the jungle as a small spring, as perhaps something that was just collecting water in a swamp or something, and it was just like nothing. But this nothing has found the force to flow through the whole jungle, and is just on the other side meeting the great ocean, and it's flowing in something greater. It's just thinking about it, it's always so incredible for me. And also it is so incredible to still be here in Thailand. We are, as you can see, not back in Paris. So there you have just now cold weather and rain and so on. So I am very glad to be here and to work here on something that will provide you actually value. And I'm using every day to develop something that perhaps will help you, like me just talking to you right now. And perhaps my thoughts are also inspiring you to think and to do actually perhaps something. But right now I'm collecting everything, and it's getting more and more accumulated. On the webpage you can visit it, www.future.louvre.academy, and there you will find something that is perhaps of much more higher value to you than me just thinking out loud. Because what I'm doing right now, I am in the process of developing a program, something that will actually help you in a much more effective way than just my scattered and chopped up thoughts, like what I was telling you about the river before. It is a nice thought, and perhaps you can develop something out of this thought, but nevertheless I think it is better when some things are written down or developed to something that is of a much higher use than just thinking out loud. So please don't hesitate to visit the website, and there everything is coming right now together, and it will be of a much higher benefit, because for me it is really an urgent mission right now to reach out and to help as many creatives and artists as possible to develop and to get with their art to the next level, or to achieve for their art the future that they are wanting. Because right now you just have to switch on the news, and you are getting really the impression what is happening to a civilization when culture is in decay, or culture is failing, or culture is only focused on entertainment. And in this way we are getting more and more in trouble. So it is really an important mission of mine, and I try to somehow transform it, that far more creatives and artists will find it as a mission also to just take what their nature, the universe, or whatever has given to them as creativity, as their possibility to do art, and not only get the value that you art is deserving as a payment for your contribution, but also by contributing your creativity, your art, you are contributing to our culture, and in this way, perhaps with time, the circumstances and our times will change, but it can only change when we are actually start to do something. Like I was telling you with the river before, no matter how small the spring was somewhere in the mountains that just produced the first drops, only by producing these first drops it started to flow, it started to collect other drops that came together to a river that pushed its way through the thickest and darkest jungle. So even when you are thinking right now, wow, future of my art career, bringing my art to the next level, what does it have to do with me? It has to do everything with you, because no matter how small your contributions, small your drops are, they are collecting, they are accumulating to something that can push its way through the river and to get to something bigger, to flow out into the big ocean. And when you think about it, no matter how small your contribution is, it can collect to something bigger. What an outstanding opportunity it is. It is just a matter of starting to build up a system that can accumulate your artistic outflow, that can collect it and that can focus it, that can set for this small stream, for the small first drops, that can set out a path to a better artistic future. This is all what it's coming down to. Like the river, like the water, even the small drops has a natural law of gravity that will actually collect many drops that are coming together. That is helping, the gravity is helping to push the river through the jungle. In the same way, you can develop a system, a program, a plan for your future that like a natural law will help you to navigate even to the darkest and most confusing jungle in the end. And all you have to do is just participate in this opportunity, just to start with it. And I think in the starting there is not only the biggest opportunity, but also it is the moment where it comes down to that actually you are doing something. When you look at the famous artists, just pick one out of the Louvre, no matter which artist you are picking, there was a moment in which this artist just started doing things. Some artists were lucky enough that from the childhood they were always drawing, making art and so on, and seamless it transformed into an artistic career in which they ended up in the vast ocean of the art. The art ended up in the Louvre, in this incredible ocean of creative and artistic power. But nevertheless, there is always a moment of starting, and naturally giving, even for you, it would be the opportunity that you just keep on doing what you have done in your childhood. Everyone in our childhood is actually creative, is doing art, but there's a moment when it just stops, and then we must rediscover this natural flow, and then it will develop again to a river. It is like a river would flow through the jungle, and the jungle is getting so thick, so the river disappears, perhaps in a swamp, and then it reappears. So if you have the chance to be connected with your creativity from your childhood, all you have to do is just keep on doing, but doing it a little bit better, a little bit more, giving it a focus, a plan. And if you are in the position that the river was lost for some years in the swamps and the darkness of the jungle, all you have to do is just find again the point where the river can reappear, and then you can just follow the river to the vast ocean of your possibilities. And but it comes down to doing. Instead of talking, thinking. The opportunity is not something that is an intellectual construct. It comes down to doing. When I'm finished with this program, you will have a clear path, a clear program that you can develop. But nevertheless, it will come down to executing it, to actually to put it into action. And instead of what I'm trying to develop, you can go to the website www.future.louvre.academy, and there you will find a clear path that will lead you into thinking and developing and finding solutions. But nevertheless, as long as it is an intellectual construct, something that is like your creativity just in your head, it will not have the impact. It will not automatically bring you to a better future. It is about execution, about doing. It is like to develop a drawing. You have to pick a piece of paper, you have to pick up a pencil and start to draw from one point. So art comes down to always doing, not worrying, not thinking, not talking, but doing. And this is so incredible, because art is the fastest way to transform thoughts into existing objects. Even if it is a drawing, it is still a real object in the end, and it is transformed from the thoughts, for the new imagination, through the process of execution, of doing. And the same goes for your art. And this is such an incredible opportunity that you have just to reach for, that actually your plan for your future will be nothing more than just it will transform from the thoughts, from a plan, into an execution and into a real object. In the end, whatever you are setting for, a new studio, more money, a better artistic network, it will transform from your wish, from your thoughts, into a realistic object. And all you have to do is just use this opportunity, just start doing, to do something about it, execute it. And the best thing is, no matter how small your steps are, even if you are a person that is really shy and you shy away from risks, you can break everything down to small steps, and just by executing the small steps, they will accumulate to something bigger. You have to have a good plan, and you have to stick to this plan, so it has the chance to accumulate to really something that comes together to a bigger something, like putting together a puzzle. And when it is the price you are paying, that you are not such a person that you are just waking up in the morning and you are setting a big goal and you are achieving on the same day, most likely it will not work this way anyway. But nevertheless, when you are a person that is working with small steps, even when they are really small, when they have the chance to accumulate through a structure, through a plan, to something bigger, it will transform into their reality. And this is the outstanding possibility. All you have to really do is just to pick the best possible future for your art. Think about it, what is necessary, what it will come down to, what is necessary to make your art better, and all you have to do is just to break the objects, the necessary environment, into achievable steps. And then just think about what is necessary when you set yourself a plan in 4 years to achieve a bigger goal, like important exhibition. You can actually figure out what exhibitions have to happen before, what art has to appear out of you to end up in such exhibitions. And in this you are setting yourself realistic goals. But these realistic goals, no matter, even if they are too big for you right now, they can actually be broken down to something that you can start today. Or even if you can't start today, you can say to yourself, what can I prepare today that will make me tomorrow start with this important step? Even if you are not in the position of working for yourself and seeing yourself as the great artist, imagine yourself that you are working for, you are preparing for the great artist that can appear tomorrow out of you. What a thought is this? It is giving you, it is the best possibility not to get overwhelmed, because seeing yourself as the great artist that should progress to the future of the magnificent art that he will do, for most of us it will be overwhelming. But and to avoid this situation of overwhelm and the feeling perhaps of arrogance or whatever is holding you back to see you in the light you should see yourself, you can actually say, okay, I am not the great artist perhaps from my future, but I can work for the artist in my future. Just imagine this. Perhaps you have already been working for someone, or in a project where you have been working for someone, and some of the people you have been working for, you have done the preparation, you have done all the necessary work, were perhaps not so nice people, were idiots even, and you have admitted, you have allowed it to work for idiots and bad people, but you are not capable to work for your best version in the future. You can see your best version of the future as a kind of boss you are working for, and for this person you are working, and it will work out for you. Other people's, when you are working somewhere else, have the possibility to use you and just to throw you away. My friends coming from the theater or that they are in acting, they have also sometimes the feeling that they have been used and then thrown away. But when you are working for your future you, as the boss you are working for, the preparation work you are doing for you, there is no chance that you will be used and thrown away. This person in the future exists, and you are working towards it to become it, and then you will ripe what is yours, because you have actually worked for it. And all you have to do is to just start this journey. Start it by mapping out what is necessary. You know, somewhere is a goal, like the first drops in the jungle. They know there is a goal, there is something bigger waiting for them, and they are just following the natural law of gravity. You are following your natural law of creativity and being in flow, and in this way you can map out the necessary steps. Even if you when you are perhaps someone that is working less with intellectual constructs, you can even this is something that I always like to do with some of my students that are coming to an art retreat. We are actually painting or drawing a map, like, you know, these adventure maps that you actually have somewhere, a X or something to achieve, and they are thinking of the future as a treasure map. So they are really mapping out all the dangerous things that can happen, all the special points they have to get first, to get from them somewhere else, and so on. It is becoming a creative adventure, and just by activating their creativity, their expression, they can far more better focus the energy and make it really to an achievable plan, instead of just thinking about it or worrying about it or getting overwhelmed by it. There's always something you can do. You can just take a look at your map that you have drawn of your artistic adventure, and you can say to you, oh, right now I am heading to this point, and this is what most likely will happen on the way. This will be the problems. How can I prepare myself as an adventurer to avoid these problems? And it can become something that's actually fun. To develop an art career, to develop a better future for your art, doesn't have to be something that is really extremely serious. It is important that you are finding a way that is actually working for you. And when it is this fun, adventurous way, then just try it. Perhaps there's another approach. With some of my clients, I'm going through many different approaches until we are finding out the best way for them to proceed. And you have all the freedom to choose your own path. And the best thing is just being on the path is giving you a feeling of satisfaction. When you are, this is something I am always telling my clients, to start a new notebook, artistic notebook, and everything that is happening day by day during their adventure on the path to a better artistic future. They should write down, make drawings. When they are worrying, then they should make a drawing of it, perhaps transforming what they are worrying about into a monster or whatever it is. And in this way you are developing your own story. Then when you have achieved it, or even on the path there, when you are asking yourself why I'm doing this, you are opening this notebook, and there you have all these adventures that you and your art career has been through, and it's giving you so much fulfillment, because you are now a part of a bigger adventure. You are someone that really has made the decision to go out of the safety, go out perhaps of the self-built cage in which it is easy in our society to get stuck. You have been the person that actually break out and make the decision and make the first steps. No matter how small the steps are in the beginning, you have been the person that was so bold and so has so much developed enough courage to do this. And in doing this, you are just in a way giving yourself another quality of value, because it is not only about thinking and talking and so on. It is something that you have started doing, no matter how small the first steps are. And even if you are not starting with your first steps, but the preparation for the first steps for your future you, it is an outstanding achievement. And you should not only give yourself credit about this, but you should see in it the tool that you have given yourself and your art to achieve a far more outstanding future. And it will come the day, perhaps not today, perhaps not tomorrow, but nevertheless there will come the day when you are making the decision. Perhaps you are lucky enough, as I was telling you before, that there was always a connection. The natural flow of creativity was kept up from your childhood, in which you are not thinking about doing art, you have just started to do art and you have challenged yourself. When you have this connection, it is really a treasure, something that will really boost your way on your progress when you are getting connected with it, that you are just doing, you are starting to planning and executing and challenging yourself. When you have this connection, it is great. And even if your river was lost for some years somewhere in the jungle, you can find it. You can make yourself on the path to rediscover it and see the advantage it is that during the time in the jungle, in the swamp, actually more water collected. And when you find the point where you can make a breakthrough for this water, the whole collected water that was just waiting will flow through, and it will give you much more energy, and it will be an outstanding experience to rediscover it. So what I'm to make it out of it, the essence, it is really, art is not about saying, thinking, worrying. Art is about doing. And by starting this first steps, just making a decision, okay, from this moment on, no matter how small the steps are, even if I have just 5 minutes a day, I will do in this 5 minutes whatever I can to progress. It is something that can overwhelm us, but it is something that is worth to be overwhelmed with. And with time, even when you are overwhelmed, you are becoming used to this progression to the next level. When you are not a beginner right now in art, but you are already on a higher level in your art, you can go even a step further and you can set yourself higher goals. Because in the end, no matter how small you are starting, No matter how small your mind is right now, it will accumulate. It will accumulate to a much brighter river, and in the end, I will turn the camera around. In the end, you can really end up in such a magnificent ocean of possibilities. There's really a whole ocean of possibilities just waiting for you. So if you can, because every day is a great day for art, then try to figure out what you can do today to start your journey, or even when you are already on your journey, what you can do to step up on your journey, or even when you are absolutely overwhelmed and you are thinking you can do nothing. Just think for the person you could become today, tomorrow, what you can do today to work for the future you, because there's something nevertheless that could tomorrow make it easier for you to make the decision, to make the steps a little bit easier, and to do the necessary preparation work so your future you has a better start. It is something that everyone can do, and it is really worth it, because look at the art in the Louvre. These are just people like you and I that have made the decision, and with time they progressed and they became better. So it is doable for humans, and I can do it, you can do it too. I hope these thoughts are a little bit inspirational. I must really sit down and write everything together to an essence, because this is too much, this is often too scattered. I hope this is still interesting, or the background we are here is interesting enough. But go to the website www.future.louvre.academy, and there you can find perhaps something that is more condensed, more essential, that is more helpful for you, because it is really important for me that you are progressing, and when I can contribute to it, then use my contribution. Even when it's not working out for you, you have done something for yourself and for your art. I hope also to see you in the next videos, and we will see if it is here or back in Paris or somewhere in South France. So it's worth to tune in, and I leave you behind with this beautiful view of the ocean, and on the Koh Samui island on the other side, or on the horizon that you can see. So enjoy the view, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.